There, so I'm going to review an MR using GitPod because I haven't been doing that a lot lately, and GitPod is awesome. So I'm looking at this MR around the Assignees widget because we're widgetizing things in the sidebar and we want to make them real time. And this MR isn't necessarily like the polish of it, but I do want to make note of anything we should improve there. So first, let's think about what the current assignee's sidebar item looks like. And this is pertaining to the board as well. So we're looking at the assignee's widget in the board. Also, kind of play with it. I feel bad for assigning someone, but oops. All right, so let's think about what this looks like now based off of this MR. I got signed out of GitPod. I did have it running. This always happens to me because I get it running and then I kind of like go do something and forget about it when it's in this tab, but that's okay. So we'll just start it again. And I'm already on this branch, so for anyone watching who doesn't know how to do this, you just kind of get the name of the branch or start typing it in. You don't really need many characters even. So I went here from this area, I started typing this in, and I clicked this, and that's just switching to the branch from the main branch. So I already did that. There's no feature flags, so we're good to go. Let's go to a board. Okay. We're actually going to go down to evaluate. And we're going to start typing things in here. So, boop, boop, boop. Find a board. All right, so let's see what the assignee widget looks like in the board. This doesn't look too much different so far. Kind of looks different. So there's one assignee, so it's just called Assignee. Let's see if we assign no one. Okay, so it says 0. Put the same thing here. Yeah, okay, so behavior hasn't changed. Assign myself. Yep. All right, so looking okay so far. Sorry, GitLab bot. Okay, 2 assignees. What did I just do? I just like double clicked. Okay. That's weird. All right, I don't know what's going on there. I didn't notice that earlier. Okay, so this is 4 assignees, but it's only showing that one. Weird. Assignees, and then it just shows Bernetta. Alright, let's see if this is happening. You know what? I think this is a licensing thing. Maybe? Because I can't apply swim lanes. And it's mentioned in this MR that we want to check out swim lanes. It could be because as we update, we're refactoring with GraphQL, so I'm kind of wondering if it's something to do with that. Like this only applies to the newer boards. Let me see, I'm gonna go grab a license and then I'll be right back. Okay, so I tried to go into the licensing area and it was yelling at me. I think part of the changes we made recently. That's okay. I found some old licenses. This is why I don't always use GitPod, just because there's like little things like this where it doesn't have the license, ultimate license every time, things like that I kind of forget about. And then when I'm just trying to review something quickly, I have to kind of set things up again. So I often just turn to my local GDK, even if it's you know, not quite as great of an experience. Okay, hold on, I'm gonna upload this. Okay, oh my gosh, I just spent a really long time not understanding why my license wasn't uploading and I hadn't clicked this, so I'm actually gonna just kind of screenshot this. What I do is I screenshot things that like confuse me and make note to make an issue about them later. So, okay, I'm gonna upload license. Hopefully that worked. Cool. Ultimate, awesome. All right. I don't know what that was supposed to be under my name, but you know what? It's fine. This is the instance, so I think we're okay. All right. Let's see if this changed anything. So now. Okay, we have 3, 4 assignees. Let's see if that actually applies this time. All right, it did. So I don't know what that was, but I should probably mention it. So gosh, this MR is huge. All right, so I'm not like doing the full thing here, but I'm gonna say I mention about license. Assignees. Okay, so I'm just gonna like remind myself to make a note about this because I want to keep reviewing. All right, so that looks normal, and it looks like there wasn't any huge like changes in spacing there or anything. I think it might be a little larger on the new one. Don't make fun of me for being really slow and lame at this. Okay, so it's like 9 pixels between those two things, which is kind of weird. And then like 10? No, it's more than that. Sorry, my Loom face is on top of what I'm trying to look at, of course. All right. So, why is this confusing too? Oh, okay. It's 8. Oh gosh. You know, I need coffee. I'm just trying to figure out what the space between these two things is. Okay, so right. So there's like 13. Huh. Okay. So no, that's not right. Weird. Okay. So there's like 18 pixels between each of these objects, and it's like 9 at the top. Okay. Alright, so this is the same. It's just this kind of weird. Yeah. Alright, so it's like 13 again, and then there's like only 5 to the left of the object, and then like 13 to the right of it. Okay, I don't know, but it's the same. So if we want to tweak that, we could. It's not a new change, at least. So what I'm trying to figure out is like how far apart all these things are and if we've changed anything. And then if we have changed anything, I just kind of want to know why and get some context there. So now I think this is larger, so it's 8. Maybe not. But yeah, it is a little larger, so 8. So many divs. Okay, so it's 13 there. All right. So 8. Where's the line height of this? Huh. Okay. Yeah. So, okay, so that line height's intended. I wonder why. Maybe check on this. Sometimes I just like literally take screenshots while I'm looking at stuff just so I remember to make a comment about it, but and let's remember what this was. Oh my gosh. Okay. Oh, so this, the line height grew in the new version. So maybe just figure out what's going on there. Because I don't think the line height, it seems off on both. So, and so that's why this one has less space between the avatars and the label, because the line height is less. So, all right. Okay, so write more comment on that later, just kind of figure out what's going on. But it interacts in the way that we would expect. Let's see this link. We're updating these, I think, to tertiary buttons, so that should be okay. I think there's some kind of consistency things going on. Yeah, I think I'll ask to make this blue just to be consistent for now, unless we're like changing to buttons very soon. So what I'm saying is this is not a link color. I mean, this isn't really a link color either, but for now we could at least be consistent with what we have and then work on making this the tertiary button styling. So, okay. I don't even need a screenshot for that one. I'll just make a note to myself here. Edit link is 3030. And then we'll talk about this more later as we keep fleshing it out. All right. So then there were some really obvious things in here, if you noticed. Well, I think they were obvious. So that looks good now, but then when you uncheck everything, these should be indented a bit. So, you know, when you're selecting things, they're kind of moving around, which is not great. So we want everything to just be, have a little more space on the left so that they're not wiggling around when you select them. I'll show you what I mean. So, yeah, the styling is a little bit different. Add some space to the left there. But the check mark looks okay. I know we're updating that anyway. Actually, it looks a little different. I don't know. I'll have to see what's intended. So this, I mean, a lot of times too, I'll be looking at pajamas and be like, okay, we have 3 different things here. Which is closest to where we're heading? But yeah, this, sorry. All right. Yeah, that looks weird. Anyway, so maybe we actually just updated this icon to the SVG or a better SVG, but it does look, I don't know, but let's make sure the color is correct. So I'm going to make a note to myself to look at the check icon color, and also, is it aligned here? Can I spell align? No, I can't spell a line. Need more coffee. Okay. Cool, so check on that. All right, that's a big one. Okay. We still have this weird behavior where like the entire drop down starts scrolling, but it's not terrible here. Don't think, let me see. This is where I forget kind of, yeah, I was like, I don't think that search bar is supposed to scroll. And sometimes when you're reviewing MRs, you just like forget the kind of simplest things. But yeah, the scroll bar, well, the search should not scroll. So search is scrolling away, which we don't want because we want people to be able to search for someone at any time. But that, okay, do we want to show that? I don't know if we want to show unassigned when you're searching, because you're searching, yeah, so we just want to show the results. So on search, just show results, not who is selected, unless we've made some change to like better show who's been selected in the list even when searching. I'm not sure, I could look into that, but I'm assuming we don't want to show this. We just want to show no results here. So we also need to add that kind of like add copy the no results state. And again, I'm going to clean up this list because I'd feel bad pinging a teammate with this kind of, you know, brain barf. So I will refine that, but I won't make y'all watch. Not that you're probably watching now, but that's okay. This clear icon also looks like it's too close to the right edge here, so we need to look at that alignment. Clear icon too close to right edge. Needs padding or something, I don't know, let's figure this out. I mean, it looks better than this icon at least, right? So we updated that. That looks good. I'm assuming it's like, yeah, 8. It should be 8. Cool. I wonder what it is. Looks like it's like just totally on the edge with no padding there. Yep. Okay. And, you know, the reason why it's so important is I think this is the first one or one of the first ones they're working on. So if we can get it in a state where they could start kind of reusing this, that would be good. So, okay. That should, I believe, close the drop down. So if I select that, it should close it, and then if I select that, it should close it, which it does. So let's test my hypothesis here. Does that close it? I'm gonna add myself, and then if I click on, yeah, so I would expect it to close it. I mean, there's a lot of things we can work on here, but for now, let's stay consistent. Clicking input. Drop down input should apply and close drop down. Cool. Like, look at it. And then my phone. Cool. Awesome. Alright, yeah, that's. And I feel like does this look small? The height looks kind of small. Ugh. Right. I know there's shortcuts. It's my Friday today, so. Alright, what is going on? Alright, so that is. Okay, so it's actually alright. Well, what's that margin about? 8. So there's going to be 8 margin above this probably. Yep, alright. I guess that's okay. But this looks like there's a lot of space there. Maybe not. okay, so there's like 4 extra pixels of margin between these 2 items. I don't know why, so 4 extra pixels between unassigned. Oh gosh. Header? I don't know. What was it doing? Oh, search box data. Okay. Cool. And when I send this over, I usually take screenshots or take a little jiffy if it's something like super confusing, just so everyone knows what I'm talking about. And a lot of times I'll fix it and I'll just say like before and after. You can put that in a table. It's really nice. Just try to be as clear as I can so there's not a ton of back and forth. Okay, cool. So this styling thing, I think we already mentioned that, right? Or did we? No, we didn't. Okay, so style. Oh gosh. Uh-oh. Let's find. I mean, now y'all know what it's like being me. So, now y'all know why I have so much coffee. All right, so it's probably padding or something. Next to avatars. Okay. Again, I'll go through and clean that up, but it's good for now. Okay. And also it's really helpful just to look at the component in the pajamas. And I'm going to try to figure this out. Okay, before I look at the component in pajamas like I just talked about. So we have like these 2 buckets, right? Which is helpful here. I'm assuming this is kind of like the selected bucket, but it's not labeled. So for example, I'm assuming when I click on poorly, it should say selected or like assigned, or I don't know. I don't think we have that currently, and maybe that's why. So, oh, okay. So we don't have that currently. So no, we'll just leave that as is and then probably create an issue around that. I think there probably is one floating around, but it could be a little more clear that there's, I mean, it is clear, right? They have check marks, but I don't know, it doesn't hurt to be very explicit. Oh no, okay, I'm wrong. It says assignees. So once it's selected, it should say assignees. So I'll just show you actually the before and after table that I was talking about before. Y'all all know this, but hey. Whew, this is an ugly comment. All right, so a lot of times I'll do this. I'll mention missing subheader kind of things in there. And I'll be like, okay, this is what it looks like now. Actually, I need to label that better. I'll tell you in a sec. So now when I select someone, there's no header indicating that they're in that bucket for a reason. And let me label this a little bit. Current? No. Adding GitLab. Because before and after, I mean, it makes sense to me, but someone reading this might be like, eh? Current, and let's see, like this branch. And also, let me know if there's a better way to do this. But I just make these smaller sometimes, especially with like a huge comment like this is going to be. It's nice to format this a little better. So what I'm doing right now is just adding HTML to resize these photos. And they're not photos, they're screenshots. You know what? I call them photos. Okay, so and I did something wrong. What did I do wrong? Oh, okay. Oh, first time I've done this, and of course I did it when I was recording myself. So it's image src. I'm not trying to do a link. I'm busting out that HTML I learned when I was like 12. Okay, cool. So instead of it being like super huge, you can set the width and height. I'm sure y'all know, but just whatever. Okay, otherwise, did I notice anything really strange? I don't think so. Oh, cool. So this mentions swim lanes also, so I'm going to make sure I look at swim lanes, because, you know, that's one of those things you assume it's going to be the same, and when you look at one instance of it, it'll be fine. You don't have to look at the other, but nope. Okay, so I didn't mean to click onto that issue. Okay, so this is the classic board, as we call it. And we've looked through this. I'm probably going to keep looking through it just because, you know, it's easier to think when you're not talking or recording yourself. But we pointed out a lot of things to start on. I like that we got rid of this double line here. I don't know what that is. Cool. So, and we're seeing, you know, also, of course, that it is applying as we would expect. Ooh, that's nice. Okay, so let's screenshot that. Did y'all see that? It kind of like the hover effect. I don't know what was going on, but it messed up the avatars. Right. Avatar weirdness on hover. All right. Obviously, I will go through and describe the weirdness. Let's see if that happens now, actually. Does it? Nope. Okay. Cool. Poor Flory. I'm sorry, Flory. Oh, no, that was mine, so I'm going to put it back on. Nope, that's not mine. No. Okay. I thought I was assigning myself to all of Flory's issues. Okay, so it doesn't currently happen, so that's weird. So we'll figure that out. And does it tell... Okay, 3 more assignees. Yeah, so that looks like it's doing what it's supposed to do there. Let's see what takes me to the assignee page. Yep, let's see what that's what I think it does, but okay, cool. So it's still behaving as we would expect in that way. Cool, so I think we have the basics of the classic board. And sometimes, you know, I feel like we have so many things here that that's a good start. And we could tell the other person working on this about these. They could start working on them, and then we might want to review again, because, you know, sometimes when you make those changes, it then kind of either like breaks something else, or it allows you to better review because you're not noticing all the little things, and then you can get deeper, or the big things, and then get deeper into the like more granular interactions. So, okay, so we're on classic boards. I want to go to Swimlane Boards. I just did. Let's see what this looks like. You can see the sidebar is a little different because we're working on it. It's a drawer now, and the width is larger right now. You know, it's something we're working on. So otherwise, I'm noticing pretty much all the same things. So it looks like there's extra margin here between these two items. Ooh, the focus state looks nice. There's still not this header here, and the alignment of avatars is still weird. You know, they're jumping around, and unassigned as well. Unassigned is not, it looks like it's a lighter weight than it is currently, but I honestly don't mind that. But I guess we can make note of it. So, and that's everywhere. It's not just in swim lanes. sometimes I'll just be like, okay, like I'm noticing I'm like, hey, I noticed this, like, is that intended? Just to open the conversation, just to make sure I'm not telling someone to do something that's not defined. Like maybe this was an improvement. So I would go then and look at GitLab UI, kind of understand if there's any changes to the component, and then also ask, right? So I don't need to know every single thing. I could, rely on my teammates, right? We can work together. Otherwise, I think this is pretty much exactly the same. It's just the width is a little wider just because the drawer is wider. So yeah, so like the hover on edit, it's not blue, things like that. So, I think I'd like us to just work on those buttons and get the buttons in place, because I know Jeremy and Tori were working on that, but otherwise it looks right. Not right, it looks the same as what we just did, so that's fine. I just want to check the interactions on the issue. So it doesn't do that strange hover thingy where the avatars change, but it does. Okay, so that is only on classic boards, so that's good to know. So that means I then should perhaps split this out. So, I could either say like both classic and swim lanes, and then like swim lanes, and then like classic, and I said classing, classic. All right. I could do something like that and then list everything out. So most would go in here. Anything I noticed just on swim lanes, anything I noticed just in classic board, and then I could list this out to better articulate what I'm trying to say about each of these things, trying to think about the way I am writing this comment, just because our asynchronous communication is so important. Otherwise, I think it's okay. I'm just going to check one more time. 5 assignees. I see 5 assignees on the card. More assignees. It reflects. So I think it's okay. The spinner looks right. Ooh, that looks like kind of close, right? Yeah, looks like it needs a little more space in between that avatar and the one more. Just because it's like, you've seen it, like I just try to click on it and it opens up that hover. Yeah, so there's like no space there. I would think it's probably about 8, should be 8. Screenshot and be like, hey, like needs more space here. More space. All the space. Let's see how much space. Again, I'm being bad here. We shouldn't rely on the current product. We should rely on GitLab UI, which I usually do. And I'll check it later, but okay, I don't want to use real people. So let's first check and just make sure this is also happening on classic boards, and then let's go to like another branch and kind of play with this. So why are you gonna work? I broke this somehow probably. Alright, let's see. Oh, alright. Alright, this is that time where I'm like hoping I'm not supposed to be in a meeting right now. Okay, but let's go to another. Where's that going? I'll have to test that out and see if like why that was happening. Okay, does it have more space? I feel like it has more space, but it doesn't. I don't know. Okay, but I did notice it hovered, like it does have a tiny bit of space here. And the hover is blue, like there's link styling. So this one has 5, so it should be like 8, I would say. I don't know what's with the 5 everywhere on the avatars. Yeah, I don't know. Okay, so I'd assume it would be like 8, because I don't think this has. I don't have pattern or anything. What is your line height? Out, but and this, yeah, so the hover is a little different. Okay, so again, this is one that's a little different on between the 2 board types, so we should make note of that. Okay, so we can do that thing where we do the before, or no, not before. For here, I might have a table, and then I'd be like, classic board and Swimlane board. Kind of like this one, just to show the very tiny differences between the 2. But let me just make sure, let me sanity check myself. The Epic board, or the Swimlane board, does have less space, and it has, yeah, the hover's different. Okay, so no hover, and there's less space on here, and we want like 8 or so between these 2, so let's make a note there. Version has no hover. I wonder if this should just be link styling all the time. I don't know, but we'll look into that. It's like first you just kind of get this consistent and working, and then you could start getting into the more polishy details. All right, what was I going to check here? Oh, I wanted to see what the space is on the current board. So let's go to master. I'm betting it's 5 because that's what's on the classic one. Okay, so it's going to switch to master. Let's see what that. It's loading. I think it's still loading. I know it is because it says it is. Okay. And we want to be on no grouping. We want to be on classic board. I'm not sure if my internet just hates me or what, but sometimes it just seems to take a really long time. Pause so you don't have to stare at me. Okay. Yeah, listen to me. It knew I was about to pause, so it decided to work. Okay. That is, I always notice that the buttons load in kind of weird. So anyway, we'll create another issue. Okay, so this is the current experience, I believe, in master. Yep, see, these are aligned properly now. And this is bold and all that. And we have the assignees, and we have that weird double line. Okay, so let's see. Whoa. What is this? Okay, that's confusing. I don't know. Let me. What? Yeah, I'm gonna create a screenshot for myself and remember to look into that because it's not relevant to what I'm looking into now. But that's weird. Huh? Why is it doing that? All right, maybe I'm just forgetting about it. I don't know. We'll figure that out. Okay, so let's see the spacing. Remember what we were trying to do. And that goes to UC. Okay, so the link styling is kind of better. And I don't think, yeah, so kind of like I suspected, it has like 5 pixels. Okay, so we want it to at least be 5, but I'd like it to be like 8. So we'll look into that. So I think we have a good start. I will now go through this, kind of refine it, make it easier to read and not just in, you know, my gibberish, and then send it on over and keep working on it with the team. But cool. Thanks for reviewing that MR with me, and maybe we'll do it again later. Talk to y'all later. Bye. Have a good one.